welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Claire. And Claire has a number of requests and bounties attached to this league. The first is, the task itself was to port Replenish combo into Legacy from Premodern, where it is a top deck in that format. The second is a shout out that trans rights are human rights. That's important to Claire. That's important to me. There's a lot of folks out there who would like you to believe that your friends and neighbors who just want to be left alone are the enemy right now. That's just not true. Stop it. And the third thing is a series of bounties. First off, if I 5-0 this league, that's a bounty to unlock. Second of all, if I execute the Parallax Wave, Parallax Tide, exile all my opponent's permanents combo, that's another bounty. The way that this works is Opalescence turns each other non-aura enchantment you control into a creature with power and toughness equal to its mana value. If Parallax Wave is a creature, you can remove a fade counter from Parallax Wave to exile target creature. That includes Parallax Wave itself. You can target all your opponent's creatures by removing fade counters, and then in response to that, you hold priority, target however many creatures you want, then you exile Parallax Wave to itself. Then it will leave the battlefield, which will then return Parallax Wave to the battlefield as a Parallax Wave with its fade counters reset. But because this is the old Oblivion Ring templating, where if the creature or permanent is exiled before... My brain just melted trying to explain that. Okay, I said it backwards. If the permanent exiling a permanent leaves the battlefield before the original trigger goes on the stack, then all things exiled with Parallax Wave will return, which would not be the creatures that are currently being targeted, and then the ability to exile them will resolve, functionally exiling them forever. You can also do the same thing with Parallax Tide. This is like Parallax Wave, but you remove a fade counter to exile target land. When this leaves the battlefield, you get all the lands come back. If you have Opalescence, this is also a creature. If you have Wave and Tide, you can stack 5 activations of Parallax Tide. In response, exile Tide with Wave. Then 5 of your opponent's lands get exiled forever. Then you can exile Parallax Wave to itself, returning Parallax Tide with its fade counters again. Functionally, these 3 permanents in play together mean that your opponent will never have a creature or a land ever again, and you will have 2 functionally unkillable 4/4s, because if they try to remove one, you could just functionally flicker it in response by exiling it to Parallax Wave and then bring it back. You also, in this world, have infinite mana, because you could target your own lands with Parallax Tide, and this time let the trigger resolve first, then exile it to Parallax Wave, then your lands come back, however they would normally come back, which most lands come in untapped. Then you could float mana and do it again. This is quite a loop, and unfortunately, due to the rules of engagement in Legacy, I had to cut back on this to kind of responsible levels. The Premodern deck just gets to play 4 of these things and go nuts, but you can't rely on resolving a bunch of 4-drops in the fast and powerful Legacy format. Therefore, I have put Swords of Plowshares, Force of Will, Counterspell, Teferi, Time Raveler, the normal things you'd expect in. I've got 2 copies of Standstill. If I could buy a turn or 2 or just draw 3, I'll take it. It's also a cool thing to bring back with Replenish, because that makes it really hard for your opponent to then remove anything you just did. Shark Typhoon's in this deck. It is both a combo with Replenish and just a good card when you have some mana in a control deck. It does something anywhere on the curve, and if it's in the graveyard for later, it comes back with the Replenish. I've done my best to respect the rules of engagement for real Legacy, knowing that there is a trophy bounty on the line, while also trying to stay true to the Premodern deck. This is Claire's Replenish control combo. Let's get after it. I'm on the draw in round 1, and I'm realizing I may have forgotten to describe the third bounty. So it's 5-0. It's exile my opponent's permanents with Parallax combo, And the third one is Replenish at instant speed with Teferi. This hand, I love in a fair matchup. Even something as fair as Delver, I'm into this. Like, this is how I want to play Legacy, honestly. There are plenty of decks in the format that will just kill me if I keep this, but I'm in. You can't talk me out of this without information. If I get Oops All Spelled, fine. This hand actually plays reasonably versus a deck like Moonstompy because I have access to 2 basic lands, and Shark Typhoon scales pretty well against what they're doing, depending on how many lock pieces versus kill you cards they have. If this is a control mirror, I would choose this hand if I was cheating, honestly. A mountain, and they pass the turn. Okay, a nice slow start. I drew a basic Plains, that's exciting. I'm going to lead on this Flooded Strand. It can get Meticulous Archive now that I don't have to worry about basics. I'm not super worried about like a Chalice of the Void in this situation either. That card is good against my deck generally. All right, we'll take a Brainstorm. And I am going to cast this Brainstorm, see if I can come up with a fetch land. Sad. Okay. Put back Hall of Heliod and one of the Tundras. And I'm just going to play Tundra. And I'll pass the turn here. I don't care about Blood Moon. I'm actually trying to bait out a Blood Moon by sandbagging my basics. Wow, what is going on over there? It's just a slow start from Painter. Okay, I'm going to jam Standstill. It might get Pyroblasted, or it might resolve immediately. Let's go! Is this like Ruby Storm that's building up its resources? I honestly don't know what deck would just put 4 mountains into play and pass the turn. Right, this is where the Shark Typhoons start to take over. It Rents Resolve. This is Ruby Storm, and I am mostly shields down to it. An Ancient Tomb and another Rents Resolve. Okay, Resolve. Oh, they found a Ruby. Don't love that. This is where I would fight if I could. Okay, they're just leaving that in the bank for next turn. I will make a 2/2 Shark and begin the beats. I have one of my 2 Wastelands as well. I like that. Force of Will. Okay. New plan is emerging. Wasteland. Take out this Ancient Tomb that they decided to sandbag the Ruby with. Teferi. Just put something in the bank here. Attack for 2. And I do have to go to cleanup. I'll discard the basic mountain. This deck is not going to Blood Moon me. I can ponder at instant speed. A Ruby. I'm going to force this pitching a Shark Typhoon. I don't think I need the second one. Rite of Flame. Storm is 2. Seething Song. Storm is 3, and there's 5 in the pool. If they put out like a Burgi, Swords to Plowshares is good here. Burning Wish. Is this going to be Galvanic Relay, or is there something better? I don't even know how Ruby Storm is constructed right now. Galvanic Relay confirmed. So they get to put 6 cards in the Necro Bank for next turn. Mountain, Desperate Ritual, Shatterskull, Ruby, Ancient Tomb, Reckless Impulse. Okay. A big reload over there. End step Ponder. Another Force. I do want this Force. I don't want this Plow, but I'll just have to Brainstorm on my turn to fix that. Though if I Brainstorm, I may not have a blue card. I might just... I do have Mystic Sanctuary available, and there's a Force of Will in my graveyard. Okay. I think I'm going to fetch for Mystic Sanctuary, buy back Force of Will, draw this with Teferi, and now I have 2 forces up going into their turn. I hope I don't need both, but they don't get to use these cards 2 turns in a row. Ancient Tomb, Ruby. I am going to put my Force here. Ral Monsoon Mage. Sucks that I had to tap out a Plow. Alright, I am going to force this because I might just lose. If I don't, a Desperate Ritual can at least cast the Reckless Impulse. Then they have some more cards for next turn. I'm running out of juice here. So if I hadn't Wastelanded earlier, I would have Plow up now, and I don't know how much that actually affected them. Lotus Petal can cast another 2-drop this turn, or leave it in the bank. Okay, there's a Wasteland again. Now I have the option. I could Wasteland them. These cards are gone. Do I think that 2 damage is going to matter versus Hall of Heliod rebuying Standstill in subsequent turns? Okay, I am going to bet against Wasteland and on Hall of Heliod. Though if they have Ascend that doesn't involve Ral here, I'm dead. Pedal. Ral, okay. Got a chance. And they can't try to flip Ral or go off in response. They can't like hold priority and cast 3 spells because Teferi's in play. They get 1 spell at a reduced cost. They get 1 coin flip. And then Ral's gone. Desperate Ritual. In response, plow Ral. Now they flip a coin and maybe they take a damage. Won the flip. Okay, so they don't take a damage, but Ral's gone. Oh, they spliced 2 other Desperate Rituals onto that. That's what all that mana was. Okay, so there's 9 mana in the pool and 2 unknown cards in their hand. Jessica's Will for cards. Yep, pretty good. Hit another Jessica's Will and a Reckless Impulse. And a Seething Song. So these are all happening too. We're in the chain, but at least we're not cost reduced currently. Another Jessica's Will. That one hit another Ral. I have another Plow. Rite of Flame's good for extra mana. There are some in their graveyard already. Played their land from exile. Ral's on the stack. Ral's in play. They get 1 reduced spell again. Reckless Impulse. Plow. Ral trigger. They might take a damage. They lost their flip. Down to 8. Flipped another Jessica's Will. There's still a Seething Song in here. And there's still 2 Desperate Rituals in hand. Seething Song. Ritual from hand. Again, splicing Ritual. 1 unknown card in the hand. And they can look at 5 more cards. I've waited through 5 rubies this game. J Will flipped 2 bonus rounds. You only get your spells this turn off of Jessica's Will. It's not until the end of your next turn. Desperate Ritual from hand. So they can bonus round, then Reckless Impulse twice. And it's really going to depend what that last card in their hand is. Oh no, they sandbagged the Metamorphosis is busted. Okay. Another 2 cards and 4 mana in the pool. Turns out Wastelanding the Ancient Tomb would have mattered this turn. Ruby, that's bad news. All right. I'm feeling pretty dead. And another Metamorphose from hand. Yikes. Now they can bonus round into Reckless Impulse. They get 3 copies of that. Or no, it's 4, because even bonus round gets copied. They're about to whip their deck at me. First copy of Impulse. It's Burning Wish. Okay, I'm just going to F6 and let them do their thing. 2 Lotus Petals, another Burning Wish, it's a Seething Song. Yeah, that first Wasteland might have been a mistake, because if I could plow the Ral last turn, I have a force for the first J-Will this turn, and then they're not off. I also could have let Ral resolve and try to use Force of Will to weather that storm, and maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. Okay, they Burning Wished for Rite of Flame and Grape Shot. I am already dead. It's funny that the bonus round copies are resolving before the storm trigger. Just these little pings for 1 before the ping for 22. Okay, now I bring in Deafening Silence from the sideboard. Maybe I should have stuck the Hall of Heliod earlier and just been buying Standstill every turn after Teferi resolved. There might have been a turn where that was on the table and I didn't take it. And I am dead. They even took their time to kill Teferi on the way through. Cool. Okay, I like Seal of Cleansing. I like all of the Blue Blasts. I like Deafening Silence. Leyline of the Void even plays here. Consigned to Memory is not without text. It counters Ruby straight up. And I could counter Storm triggers with it. This might be a 13-card sideboard situation. Supreme Verdict is out. I don't know that I'm actually playing all these consigns. That's a lot. And my opponent doesn't play creatures, so Parallax Wave should come out. That's annoying. Sorry, Claire. My opponent put me in this position. I'm really going to try to collect the bounties and do the thing, but my opponent barely cares about their lands and doesn't have creatures, not in the traditional sense. Shark Typhoon's still fine. It's blue for force, and it does stuff. I don't think I can really cut lands from this deck. I still like Replenish. Buying back Shark Typhoon and Standstill is pretty good. Might not need 2 of them, though. I can go a little lower on Swords to Plowshares. Cast Out's pretty garbage. And I don't need Intuition anymore. Okay, yeah, if I'm not comboing, I don't need Intuition. This lets me get Cast Out back in. Cast Out could answer a Ruby or a creature, or just cycle. Or I could turn this Cast Out into a Consigned to Memory. Okay, disappointing to be put into this position so quickly by the texture of the league. But winning is one of my goals. All right, keep this. I'm going to put in Leyline of the Void and then rely on Brainstorm to do stuff. Past in Flames might be part of their plan. If they have bonus round, they can definitely win through Leyline. It's not as good as Graveyard Hate versus other builds of Ruby that exist, but denying their Rite of Flame mana, and just in case I want to cut off a Past in Flames line, all sounds worth doing. Shark Typhoon, okay. Brainstorm. That's why I brainstormed, in case I would hit Deafening Silence right now, which I did. Put back Sanctuary, and the Replenish is interesting, because I am going to cycle Shark Typhoon in the near future. I don't know how red deck kills Deafening Silence, but if they kill it, I can get it back. And I'm going to put back Mystic Sanctuary and Tundra. I'll fetch Plains, because they might board into Blood Moons. De-Silence. Now I'm feeling good about the squeeze. Lotus Petal, that's your spell. Force of Will added to the squad. I'm going to cycle Shark Typhoon for 1 and hope one of my top 2 cards on my deck is a land to then put Shark Typhoon into play. Ruby Medallion. I don't think I'm going to fight over this with Deafening Silence in play. All right, cycle for 1. Found Standstill. Let's go. Land. Is land better? I think it is. Is that possibly true? Okay. I'm jamming it. Let's go. I have a Shark Typhoon in play. Say something about it. Now if I Force of Will, I got a 5/5. If they don't make me force anything this turn, I can play Standstill next turn, get a 2/2, and then they can't really cast a spell again. Ren's Resolve flips 2 spells that they can't cast. Shatter Skull. Okay, they zapped it in. Must have Pyroblast available. Oh, they're just Manamorphosing a cantrip. Deal. That's clever. That works. Scalding Tarn. Standstill, make a 2/2. Now I'm attacking for 3. And I got a 5/5 if they try to do anything. And they can't not do stuff. Burning Wish. Standstill triggers. This is their only spell for the turn. I'm going to let it resolve. Found another Deafening Silence. They got Anarchy, destroy all white permanents. Let's go. I love that shit. I'll force it, but I do love that shit. Meticulous Archive, trigger. I'll take a Brainstorm. Because my plan this turn is Mystic Sanctuary, target Replenish. Brainstorm into this. I get a 1/1. And then when I cast this Replenish, I get a 4/4, and they're back under Standstill. Oh, right, I can't cast 2 spells. Fuck. Alright, hoisted by my own petard. I'll do it next turn. Okay, I suspect they'll scoop to the Forced Anarchy anyway, but they will be under Standstill again starting next turn. I will spend hard-earned American mana on this. We did it. Okay. It just took every sideboard card in the right order. Yeah, the fact that they're bonus round, maybe I don't actually care about Leyline of the Void. What would I do otherwise? I'd probably bring back in some Consigned to Memories. Plow cast out. I have to imagine there is a Past in Flames in their wish board, even if it's not part of their main plan. If I go plus Plow, plus cast out, plus 2 intuitions, or wait, no. Plus Plow, plus Consign, plus 1 intuition, plus another Consign, and then the ley lines are out. If I lose to a graveyard line, I guess I deserve it, but Deafening Silence is the real hate card here. Intuition can wish for 2 Deafening Silences and Replenish, and then I get a Deafening Silence no matter what. Okay, I'm gonna try it like this on the draw. I'm not even sure if Leyline of the Void was right, but now that they've seen it, it's something they have to think about, and then I just won't actually have it. Okay, they don't really go off on turn 2. I'm gonna keep. I guess Ancient Tomb could go off on turn 2, but I could waste the Ancient Tomb. Uh-oh. Ancient Tomb is the play. Deafening Silence off the top. We'll take a Force of Will. Now I have to decide, do I want to waste this Ancient Tomb? I don't think that I do. Not yet. I would like to resolve this Standstill before I have to think about anything else. Double Ancient Tomb. Hit me with the One Ring. I'm going to get Meticulous Archive. The deck may or may not have access to Blood Moon. Basic Island on top now. Love to see that. Island, Standstill. We're in there. I have a Shark Typhoon to apply pressure with. So that it can either break it right away or start dying to sharks. Break it right away is usually correct. Harnfell, the Horn of Bounty. I'll draw my 3 cards first. Oh, I wish I could just hit those Seal of Cleansing, but they're going to draw so many cards before that happens. Okay, I'm going to force pitching to Fairy. Force pitching to Fairy on that. To Fairy, not actually good. I'm going to Wasteland and play Seal of Cleansing. And then hope that it's not Ral that kills me. Burning Wish. Okay, they grab the Anarchy. I don't know if that's a proactive Anarchy or if they're just... the Seal of Cleansing actually has them hardlocked. Anarchy does kill Teferi. I think I'm just going to brainstorm here. Put back Mystic Sanctuary and one of the Plows. Play my land and pass. Currently have no protection. Another Burning Wish. Okay, they're building up the team. A wall of shitters. There are 2 Burning Wishes in exile, though. Ooh, Inspired Tinkery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You cast those turn and create 3 treasures. Okay, so that's like a value engine thing. I'm going to fetch a Tundra. And I'm actually going to cycle Shark Typhoon for X equals 0 here. This banks a Shark Typhoon in the graveyard and just cycles me closer to cards that matter in the matchup. Seal of Cleansing. All right, I am flush with Seal of Cleansings. Brainstorm, Hydroblast I love. I'm going to put back the extra Plow and the extra Seal. Flooded Strand, pass. Yeah, spending 1 mana to counter this 7 mana sorcery because they Burning Wished for it, then they had to cast it. I like that. Bergy. Okay. I can Swords to Plowshares this. I'm going to do it as soon as I have priority. Okay. Like right now. Plow this Bergy. I could actually counter both of these triggers too. I don't think I have to. Anarchy tinkering 2 unknowns over there. And they're just passing. I'm going to go to my turn before I fetch because they had that mana that didn't empty till end of turn. And it's just kind of a weird thing to have to navigate. Ponder. I think I'm just going to play Teferi and draw a card. I'm still leaving up as much interaction as I had before. If they cast Anarchy, I'll kill Lotus Petal with Seal of Cleansing, I guess. Hydroblast. And I don't have to worry about getting blasted back. Plus Teferi. Ponder now. Force of Will. Good find. Do not shuffle. Play Tundra. Okay, I have a 3/3 coming. If they do nothing, I can force a play. Consign is conditional interaction. Okay. Ruby resolves. I know I have this consign, but I also have the Seal of Cleansing. All right, cleanse the Ruby. Resolve, flip Burning Wish and a Reckless Impulse. Impulse, go for it. Seething Song, Shatter Skull. Playing it tapped like a coward. End of turn, big cycles. 3/3 beats. Opponents at 13 from their own mana. I could play another Seal of Cleansing. I don't think that helps anything, though, when I could instant speed Ponder or hardcast Force instead. Seething Song. Maybe I was supposed to Ponder in my main phase, just finding a Deafening Silence is so powerful. Burning Wish. I'm saving this Force of Will. This is the 3rd Burning Wish, there's only 1 left in the deck. You can't wish for more wishes anymore. That's the thing you could do in the olden days. J-Will. Flipping their top 3 cards. Go ahead. Mountain 2 Seething Songs. They're made of mana. The Gambit not to counter that paid off. I'm trying to bottleneck their payoffs with this Force rather than attack their card advantage engine. Seething Song. Seething Song. I mean, these are use it or lose it. They might not actually have anything to do with this, but Jessica's Will doesn't bottle it for an extra turn. Anarchy 2 unknowns. And I can counter a Storm trigger. Ooh. The last remaining Burning Wish. I am not going to fight over this. It's consigning a Relay trigger, or an Empty trigger, or a Dragon Eruption trigger. This is all the Burning Wishes they play. Dragon Eruption is not the name of that card. Volcanic Eruption, Volcanic Rage, Volcanic something or other. The Storm spell that makes dragons for 6 is what I'm saying. Galvanic Relay is the get. They have generated a 5 mana, get 1 card next turn play. The 1 card they get next turn is Jessica's Will. Not a bad flip if you only get 1. And I'm going to Ponder in this end step. Another Consign. I don't think that's good enough. I'm going to shuffle. Another Ponder. Keep them going. Ponder. Ponder Storm is 2. Standstill. And this doesn't really solve my problem, but it does draw 3 cards. Okay. I am not going to shuffle Standstill. Like it too much. Island, attack for 3. So they have Anarchy, 1 Unknown, and Jeska's Will available. I could just delete Teferi to draw a card right now, but I think I'm going to play the Standstill and leave up Hardcast Force. Because if the 1 Unknown in their hand has been Pyroblast all along, that sucks. Okay, Jeska's Will. The Standstill triggers first. Okay. I can... What do I have 3 copies of left in my deck? I can Brainstorm, see what things look like. I don't have all my consigns in. I could Intuition for... Do I have 2 or 3 consigns in? Or did I bring them all in? Oh, I did bring them all in on the second pass. So I could Intuition for triple consign or consign counterspell. Okay, I'm gonna pitch cast Force, losing this Brainstorm, and that leaves up Intuition for interaction. If their last unknown cards actually matter, which it does not appear that they do. All right, I'll Intuition now, even though they're dead. Okay, sweet. All right, we beat Ruby Storm. Not the way we wanted to, but when your opponent puts you in this world, you gotta sideboard in 13 cards. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2 versus Mad Skills 84. I wonder if their skills are actually mad. I'm going to keep my hand. I love a Shark Typhoon. Hard to talk me out of it. The opponent mulled to 5. So far the skills are not mad. Scalding Tarn pass. Let's see what they got over there. Oops All Spells can definitely win with 5 cards. It's not Oops All Spells. Unless they built their deck poorly. Oh, okay. This rules. I am going to fetch my Meticulous Archive here, even though it does endanger me to Wasteland. But I want to hit my next land drop, Opalescence, right in the graveyard where it belongs for this Replenish. Opponent pooping their pants right now. Wasteland you, plow this. I would love to shove that Standstill, but if I had, I think, like, more lands, I would actually have shove the Standstill and get Shark Typhoon just bigger than Dragon's Rage Channeler over my next few land drops, but in this position, I don't want to just take 20 from this thing. They forced pitching Daze. I played around the Daze by wasting first. Kept their card on top. It's almost certainly a land. I'm going to force back pitching Shark Typhoon. If they care about this worth 2 cards, then so do I. And Standstill is a better slam on 2 mana when I draw my next land than Force of Will is, or Shark Typhoon is. Brainstorm. Okay. Untapped land here is huge. Standstill? Ponder. Okay. Ponder, probably the second best card I could draw. Oh my goodness. All right. Standstill, Plains, Flooded Strand. Don't shuffle. I should have teched the Plains so I could plow them on curve, but I could plow a creature and then play Standstill anyway. No, it's fine. Wasteland, played around it by pondering into more lands. Okay. Draw the Plains. Fetch the island. Moment of Truth. Standstill. Do you have the Daze? We're in. Standstill is such an interesting object because this play feels very powerful, but cards are frequently worth more than 2 cards these days in Magic the Gathering. And like I spent a card to get Standstill into play, so I'll be plus 2 cards when this happens, when this pops. And a lot of cards you could spend 2 mana on are just worth 2 cards anyway. All right, hitting land drops is what I want to be doing right now. I got Shark Typhoons in my deck. I got Hall of Heliod. At some point, they'll have to break this Standstill, and then I can replenish them to death. Let's go. There's nothing that traditional Delver decks can do under a Standstill. Some decks play Urza Saga, and you actually just have to board your Standstills out. That's why I put 2 Wastelands in all my Standstill decks. Okay. The plan's coming together. Opalescence in the graveyard, wave and replenish in hand. All right, we're just hitting land drops. Another basic. Caracas. Yeah, the two common play patterns versus Standstill are number one, just break it and play on. And number two is wait till your opponent has 8 cards in their hand and they're about to go to discard and then cast an instant in their end step. Then they have 11 cards in their hand and they have to discard 4 cards. And then like it goes from card advantage to card selection. My opponent's going to get to 8 cards in hand way before me though. Intuition, pretty decent. Sad to pitch that Shark Typhoon, but we wouldn't be in this spot if I had pitched Standstill. They would have played a bunch of spells by now. Okay. They're doing the thing. They're just lightning bolting me in the end step. Didn't quite have the patience to go forever on that one. Right now I stand to discard 2 cards. Yeah, I'm gonna discard Seal of Cleansing and Parallax Wave, or Parallax Tide. I mean, Wave is great, just against what their deck actually does. Alright. Seal and Tide. I can cycle a big shark this turn, then play Parallax Wave with counter backup next turn. If they fight over the wave, then I can follow up with Replenish on the turn after that. They do have 7 cards in hand. Have to respect that. P or D. They fetched down to 17. They went top bottom with the Preordained, so the card they bottomed just shuffled back into their deck. Sequencing fetch lands with Preordain is different than the other ones. All right, what are we doing with 3 mana? Dragon's Rage Channeler. I can plow that. Bobble. I probably just want to plow this now before it gets too much advantage. And if they fight over this plow, that's great because Parallax Wave is what I actually want to do with my life. Okay. They didn't fight that fight. Murktide Regent with double force backup is what I'm worried about now. But I can chump it for a turn with Shark Typhoon. It's better for me to let the Murktide resolve and then try to fight over my Parallax Wave than it is to force the Murktide. It's the same if they have force, and it wastes my force of will if they don't. Okay. Murktide resolves. And I'm going to make a 3/3 shark in the end step. Or I could get Mystic Sanctuary and just get my plow back. Now I'll make a 3/3 shark. I love making sharks. This makes my replenish better also. The shark's in there. They got 4 cards in hand. Drew another land. They go to 5 cards in hand. Oh, there's my Mystic Sanctuary. That's fun. Okay, that can be my backup plan. I'm going to lead on Parallax Wave. Do the wave! Force of will. Disappointing. Okay. I'm actually going to let them have this because I have Mystic Sanctuary, which gets back my Swords to Plowshares. And then I'm going to Ponder to put that in my hand immediately. Wow, Teferi underneath it. I might take the scenic route to unlock a bounty here. Okay, no attacks. My plan is to chump with the shark and only plow if I need to, because I would rather resolve Replenish. And Teferi makes that pretty easy to do. If they plow or Brazen Borrow my shark, then I bolt or Brazen Borrow my shark, I probably have to remove the Murktide so I don't get into bolt range. Did not shuffle their Ponder. I actually unlock both bounties if I replenish in their upkeep, because Tide, Opalescence, and Wave are all in my graveyard right now. And Claire said it still counts if they scoop to the lock. Okay, block, Ponder. I'm so excited. I feel it happening. Their hand would have to be an impossible sequence of things, because they have to force the Teferi, then they have to beat the force and the replenish. Teferi. Don't scoop to Teferi. Let me do this. Force of will on Teferi. Okay. I am going to choose to fight over the bounties. Teferi resolved. Pay up, Claire. 2 of your 3 bounties are unlocked here. I'm going to go to their upkeep and do it. Replenish right now. This counts. If they don't know the combo, I mean, they could see like 10 cards come into play here, but if they don't know the combo, I might even get to goof around even more. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Don't concede, don't concede. Oh my god, we got priority. Okay, hold priority, exile island, exile volcanic island, exile volcanic island, exile volcanic island, exile parallax wave. Let that one resolve. Or exile parallax tide with parallax wave. They're tapping mana. I have a Teferi. What do you think you're doing here? They would need like Ottawara? Okay. Exiled that. And then I'm going to exile Murktide, and in response, exile Parallax Wave. We're doing it. Okay, Parallax Wave leaves the battlefield. Parallax Wave comes back with Parallax Tide, and then all their permanents get exiled forever. Do you see the combo? Goodbye, 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 goodbye. That is 2 of the 3 bounties unlocked. Let's go! And we're live for the 3rd one. Okay, we're playing against Delver. I like Hydroblast just fine. I don't know how many I'm going to want, but I do like it. I don't love Force of Will, but I am a combo deck, so I'll think about it. Seal of Cleansing is a no. Seal of Cleansing is a holdover from the Premodern deck, where artifacts and enchantments are much more plentiful and important in that format. Like, Dreadnought's one of the best decks. It's really nice there. And you can do the trick as a one-shot. Like, you can exile 4 creatures with Parallax Wave, and in response, Seal of Cleansing your Parallax Wave if you don't have the Opalescence, and get a permanent exile. But it is going to be an easy board out in a lot of these legacy games. Consign to Memory doesn't matter here. Maybe I go down 1 force, but I leave some in. I don't want to bring in Leyline of the Void. They do use their graveyard a lot, but I don't want to mulligan for it, and I don't want to draw it after turn 0. Yeah, it's just 3 Hydroblasts, and off we go. This does not have the white removal I would hope for. It does have excellent mana, though. I'm going to keep this. You do kind of have to roll the dice a little bit when you're these big clunky blue-white decks versus Delver. Like, if I just find a Plow, a Teferi, and a Supreme Verdict, or if they take their time setting up, if they're on a Sculpt plan where their first creature of the game is going to be a Murktide, either of those situations favor me. But if they just, like, went Dragon's Rage Channeler, Bobble, get Delirium, bash you, I could be in some trouble. They shuffled that Ponder, and I drew a Plow. I'm going to do a cheeky Wasteland here. I am not above cheesing a game, if that is available to me. Did not cheese the game. Dragon's Rage Channeler's here. I've picked up a Plow since the first time I was worried about that. Dumped a Force of Will. So do they need a land? Are they looking for a follow-up threat? Were they just getting Delirium, or do they already have a Force? Really, no answer to those questions right now from me. Hydroblast, cool. I'm going to lead on Hydroblast. Or can I just afford to take 3? I'm going to Hydro... All right, no, I'm going to take 3. It's fine. I'll pass. That's actually really close, because if they don't have Daze, obviously I'd rather not take 3, and a turn with Dragon's Rage Channeler in plays a bunch of Surveils. But if they do Daze, it's in a spot where I didn't have to play into that shit. Okay, Delver of Secrets. Force of Will, one of those that I play is here now. I am going to go into their upkeep and start casting spells there. Unless they brainstorm or something to set up Delver now. Okay, Delver gets a look. I want to let this resolve. Delver did not flip. Hydroblast, destroy target permanent if it's red. Or do I want to go to their draw step here? Hold on. Because if they fight over Hydroblast, they could surveil away a card they don't want. And the card that they're drawing is not a spell that could fight over Hydroblast. I'm going to go into their draw step here. And Hydroblast the DRC. Leave you with whatever that card was. I hope it was Wasteland. A force pitching Murktide. So it might have been Murktide Regent. That would check the box, but if I can functionally Hydroblast a Murktide Regent here, I'll take that. Okay, I could force pitching counterspell, start actually answering problems. Yeah, I am going to force pitching counterspell here. They could have Pyroblast this Hydroblast, and they didn't. And if I can get this board empty, that's good. Force of Will doesn't kill a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Oh, wow, look at this. They want it real bad. Okay, force pitching Brainstorm and Murktide to try to get this damage through. Well, they have successfully presented 2 threats in a spot where I only have 1 answer. I think they would have pitched Daze over Murktide Regent or Brainstorm there, so I'm not going to play around Daze. We have reasonable information that that's not their card. And they didn't jam a second Murktide, which is what I was most worried about. Oh no. Brainstorm. If I find Shark Typhoon, I'll play Standstill. Those are not Shark Typhoons. Put back Caracas and Opalescence. Basic Island, Ponder. Standstill, Intuition, Wave. It's obviously not Standstill. Do I want to try to wave this Delver? It is an answer. at least temporarily. They don't have days. It answers 2 creatures. Okay. I will draw Parallax Wave, and I draw Intuition the turn after that. And I have temporary stability. Ooh, Force of Negation revealed. That exiles my Parallax Wave. That's hardly fair. Their last card was Wasteland, got him. But that does cast Force of Negation. Okay, I could just let them exile my Wave and then let Intuition do the work. Yeah, I might just Intuition in their upkeep. Okay, Intuition, choose that opponent. I'd probably just Intuition for 3 Shark Typhoons here. I forced it, probably correctly. I go to 8, then I play Wave. Unless I draw Plow, then I Plow and play Standstill. Fetch to 7. Get a basic Plains. Brainstorm, ooh, alright. Don't draw days. I hope you did not draw days. Okay, that's in there fair and square. I'll exile the Delver. And then it'll be back 4 turns from now, but smaller, temporarily. And any creature they play in the interim can speed up the fading, but it will be gone. And if I find a Shark Typhoon or something that answers Delver before then, we're in business. Okay, DRC's here. Teferi. I like that. Okay, I'm going to start with Teferi. That part's easy. They can't daze. They're not showing Hydro Blast, any blast, Hydro or Pyro. Tundra. I could go Tundra Standstill, and then I could tick Teferi up to the point where it can bounce Delver. All right, let's fucking game. All right, just snap Wasteland in response. Okay, this is a little awkward. Oh, fading reads, if you can't remove a fade counter, which is different than vanishing, which is when you remove the last fade counter. So this will go to 2, Teferi will go to 2. This will go to 1, Teferi will go to 3. This will go to 0, Teferi will go to 4. Oh wow, they're just breaking the standstill. They don't even want to play this game. Maybe they counted that faster than I did. Or maybe they're a wild and crazy person over there. Oh, please play Murktide. Now that I have Replenish, I don't have the Opalescence yet, but I can do some stuff. All right. The Parallax Wave is going to kill all these creatures. Then Parallax Wave is going to die. Then I'm going to replenish it back. I'll go down to 2 fade counters in this upkeep, plus Teferi, and I'm exiling these cards. That's definitely happening. I mean, I could just ambush this Dragon's Rage Channeler with the Shark Typhoon. Opponent's Hellbent. I'd rather have it dead than looping in and out of play. A Ponder. This could result in Delirium. If it does, I'll just exile the thing. I can still trade with it, though. And this is so free. Once you get to this state versus Delver, there's so little that could go wrong. Okay, Ponder did not shuffle. Surveil did not go away. And now the Ponder is resolving. They found a good one. What's a good one? Pyroblast? Clearing Teferi? That's annoying. It gives them Delirium. Oh, Lightning Bolt, Teferi. That works too. Kept the card on top. Okay, Teferi will be gone, and they will be delirious. All right, but you're Hellbent, and now this has to attack, so the Shark is gonna get it. Okay, I go to 6. Island. Cycle Shark Typhoon. This is a little awkward now, because you do actually have to have a target creature for Parallax Wave, which means it'll spend a turn on 0, where it doesn't make sense for me to shove the Replenish yet. Okay. It goes to 0. This does give them 1 turn to draw Force of Negation. Oh, Hall of Heliod, let's go. Does Mystic Sanctuarying back one of my things make more sense? I don't think so. Or, yeah, probably. Alright, I'm going to Mystic Sanctuary targeting Hydroblast or Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares, okay. Okay, Swords to Plowshares is there now. I could cast Shark Typhoon right now, which is not something that I normally advise. And I'm not going to do it because I'm going to get it next turn anyway, though I would have considered it there. They're going to end up with a 1/1 Delver and a 3/3 Murktide temporarily. There's a 1/1 Delver. I do have to keep in mind that Standstill is coming into play with my other cards. 4/4 Shark blanks the Delvers. Okay, so I'm going to plow the Murktide and then battle the Delvers with my Sharks. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I drew Hydroblast, so now I'm not going to get burned out either. They plow the Murktide first, and then Replenish. Boom, 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 boom. We are in there. If they don't cast a spell, they lose. If they do cast a spell, they lose. I'm not going to cast a spell. Oh, how can this go wrong? With the Hydroblast, it's a lot harder to go wrong. Delver's flipped right away. They could attack me. They can't even put me to 3 because I'll just eat the one that gets through with Wave. And if they break my standstill, I start double sharking. By sharking it. They are attacking. Block one of them. Exile the other with Wave. Slurp it up. Yeah! Alright. We unlocked 2 of the 3 bounties, and we are still live for the trophy bounty as well. Opponent said, thanks, that was miserable, GG. That's what I'm going for. On to the next one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3 versus I would like to respond. That is Marcus Ewald, friend of the show, likes brewing. He's known for like High Tide and mid-range Esper decks. And mid-range Esper could be really exciting versus what I'm doing right now. He will appreciate this no matter what. Okay. Meticulous Archive. Dumping Swords to Plowshares. Urza Saga. Okay. That's very, very bad for my standstill. Okay. We are in the danger zone. Gonna have to go off here eventually. Alright, well. I'm gonna waste the Meticulous Archive and try to screw him off the constructs. I have seen him posting about this deck. He shared this deck with me. I don't think it plays Ancient Tomb. And if I could put him down to not enough lands to play, that's good for me. Does have an engine online. The Saga can tutor, but I think putting him down... Oh, wow. That's interesting. I could just kill the Staff of the Storyteller right now before it does anything. I think I'd rather hold up Counterspell and see where this game goes. Because I can't just park the Seal of Cleansing and wait for the staff to trigger, because there could be a Pithing Needle in here, and there could be a better card to get. Alright, now I would rather kill Retrofitter Foundry than Staff of the Storyteller. To counter Tameo, I don't like that. Okay, that's handled. Gonna make a servo here. Okay, I think I'm gonna brainstorm away the Opalescence. Oh wow. Or maybe I'll brainstorm away a bunch of extra lands I don't need. A Mystic Sanctuary and Plains go into the deck. And then I'll fetch basic Plains, play Seal of Cleansing, kill Retrofitter Foundry. Don't daze me, bro. Yeah, Force of Will is worth the cards here. Force Pitching Snapcaster. It's kind of like a 3-for-1, but also it kept the Retrofitter, which is worth X cards, where X is the number of turns it's in play, times 2, because it's also charging the Staff of the Storyteller. Drew a Staff, cast Brainstorm. Gonna need another Force, because if I play Parallax Wave this turn and then resolve Opalescence on the following turn, we are doing it. And Parallax Waves versus tokens is just, they're gone. Oh my god. Alright. Alright, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I think the Wave is more important, so I'm gonna start with the Tide. Parallax Tide, get in there. This is also a must counter. Yeah, okay. This flushed out the Force. The Wave is the one I actually care about. Wave plus Opalescence is where I'm trying to get with my life. Can turn this into a Thopter this turn. Just charges the Staff. Opalescence also just kills Urza Saga. It becomes a 0/0 artifact, or a 0/0 enchantment creature. I'm at 13 life. I can make some big creatures. Please don't have another Force here. Parallax Wave. Don't do it. Don't you do it. You've done 2 already. Okay, we're in. Could Urza Saga for Pithing Needle, but would have to deploy a bunch of creatures before that moment. Okay, Scrubland, drawing a card. Interesting he didn't draw a card with this on the stack. That makes me think he doesn't have a blue card to force with, even if he did draw force. Okay, generating a construct. I can delete that. If it's generating another construct. Okay. Slurp it. Slurp it. I'm going to leave the 1/1 around. My Parallax Wave needs at least one counter left on it when we get to... Okay, just passing here. I'm going to exile the Spirit now in case this is a Pithing Needle. It needs one counter left on it when we get to the Opalescence to do the trick. Oh, Soul God Lantern. Sick. Sucks. My Replenish, his combo is blown out. But I can infinitely remove all creatures if my spell resolves. Drawn a card. Back up to 5 cards in hand. There were 2 a moment ago. Ponder. Marcus is enough of a brewer to know a replenish strategy when he sees one. I don't know if he plays Premodern or not, but he certainly recognizes that I'm playing a bunch of weird cards. And replenish is something that ties the room together here. He did not shuffle Ponder. Made a servo. Okay, I would love to draw Force of Will here. Or Teferi's too expensive. Force of Will would be a great draw. If I win this fight, I'm going to feel really good. Okay. Hall of Heliod. Opalescence. Moment of Truth. Do we have the hard lock? Saw so many cards last turn. I'd love to see an emergency Soul Guide pop here. We're in. Okay. I'm going to exile Parallax Wave. Oh, I should have attacked first. Whoops. And then this comes back. I missed 4 damage there. Might have blocked anyway, but okay. I have the loop. And with 4 tokens or 4 counters on it, I can exile it in response to him trying to kill it. A Wrath gets me here. Like Supreme Verdict. I can't outmaneuver that. But Swords to Plowshares doesn't work. Fatal Push doesn't work. Teferi doesn't work. And Teferi bouncing Opalescence works. Temporarily. Fetching land number 5. Scary. Drawing a card. Really wish my opponent was at 11 life instead of 15. That's okay. I'll figure it out. Okay, I think I'm going to buy back Seal of Cleansing in my upkeep and see if this is worth a Soul Guide Lantern, because Intuition gets a lot worse if he has Soul Guide Lantern available. Okay. It was worth it. Deal. Like, that's good for me either way. Swords to Plowshares. Arid Mesa. Attack for 4. If he makes a servo, I can exile it before it blocks. I still have 2 counters left. Exile that. 4 damage to you. If he has 2 removal spells in hand right now, he can actually get me. But I'm going to try to reset my thing right now. And it worked. Look at how much fun we're having. I am mildly disappointed, though, that Arid Mesa, this is the only fetch land in my deck that doesn't get Mystic Sanctuary. This is the one that I have. Okay, I'm going to... I almost cast Swords to Plowshares here. What a mess that would have been. Okay, so exile, exile, exile in response. My creature comes back. Yours are gone forever. Pass. I am interested if my opponent can deal 12 damage with his deck through these conditions. Storm. And each fade counter on this is basically a counterspell for a removal spell. So it is important to manage those and don't let it tick down to 1 thinking you can always reset it. Another staff. Okay. It's set on draw engines. I only play the 1 Parallax Tide, unfortunately, and it's an exile. Okay, exile this Spirit token. And I'm going to jam an Intuition here. Spell Pierce. Disappointing. Hate my life. That was definitely avoidable. Okay. Meticulous Archive could draw a card here, functionally. Or not really draw a card, but I can get back a card I would surveil. Oh my god. Oh my god. That should be the lock. Okay, this fades. Normally, I would not want to cast Standstill into a active Retrofitter Foundry, but here I'm into it. Exile my creature. Opponent's at 6. There's not a trick here with Standstill. Standstill reads, when a player casts a spell, sack this. If you do, each of that player's opponents draw 3 cards, so you do have to sack it. It's not like he could cast a spell, Standstill goes on the track, I slurp it up. The Standstill does have to die to draw cards. He pointed out that it's a flavor fail. Take your time when the Standstill actually represents lethal damage. Good call. Speed it up. Okay. I fade down to 4. I present a lethal attack. It could make a servo. I can exile the servo. Could untap the Retrofitter Foundry and then turn the servo into a Thopter, and then I can also exile that. And if he wants to fight over anything else along the way, Standstill's going to pop. I guess casting a spell, exiling Standstill, saves 2 damage, even if the spell doesn't work. That's funny. Yeah, the old every spell is healing self. Bowmaster, I draw 3. I could force this, or I could force subsequent battles. All right, Bowmaster resolves, dealing 1 damage to me, triggering all these things. And I'm actually going to protect my Parallax Wave by just going to blocks here. Like, go ahead, chump me. My plan is not win fast, it's win stably. And I can actually exile my Parallax Wave first to make sure that I have enough tokens or counters to execute through double plow. There's a plow. In response, exile Parallax Wave. In response, exile Parallax Wave. We played around it. And then this comes back. These plows fizzle. What an insane engine. If I had plowed the Bowmaster first, that would not have worked. So just played around that. Bowmaster's gone forever. And now I'm going to buy back Standstill and brainstorm into it. He said he should have looked up fading. Yeah, I probably thought it was vanishing and you can't go down to 1. All right, Standstill. Take your time, speed it up. Yeah, okay, the lock. All right. We're playing against Esper tokens. Seal of Cleansing is actually great here, somehow. Consign to Memory helps fight Urza Saga, but Seal of Cleansing does that. Harbinger of the Seas does that. He does have basic lands, but I have more. And he's a 3-color deck, and I'm not. The Soul Guide Lantern's super annoying. The 1 main deck consign feels like the right amount. I think I might shave an Intuition and a Force of Will here for these 2. I'm going to keep it light. I think if I do what my deck's supposed to do, I will be favored here. He said he cut his only out to an Opalescence for this league. And you gotta respect the metagame, Marcus. I don't know what to tell you. It's probably like Teferi Time Raveler or Otawara. A 1-lander full of banger spells. I probably actually should have boarded out a Standstill versus this Urza Saga deck. That's really risky and kind of a huge bleed. I'm going to mulligan. I like this one. Keep and bottom. I think I do want to fight over something like Staff of the Storyteller. Counterspell's so sick. I hate to bottom Shark Typhoon, but I think it's right. Sorry, Shark Typhoon, you know I love you. Blue to Delta. We saw Spell Pierce. Game 1. I was thinking about 1-mana cards I need to worry about. Oh yeah, Tameo. I care about that one too. Except I have the Mighty Caracas. Forgotten in the history of legacy cards you could play. Pow! Get out of here. Caracas used to be in every deck that can make white mana, and then Legacy just became about different things. But it's still a powerful thing we have access to. Okay, I'm going to force pitching Brainstorm for this one. I have hopes for this counterspell. High hopes. Ponder. Teferi. I like that guy. I don't like the 2 lands under him, but I do like Teferi. Ponder. Right now is the moment where we determine if I'm going to be behind some busted permanent for the whole game, or if I can do something with counterspell. I started to spend mana, then changed his mind. You're going to see an upkeep Bowmaster. Nope. All right. I'm going to hold up counterspell. I know my next draw is a land, and I could just park the truck for a second here. If I'm not behind some onboard value engine, then we're fine. Replaying the Tameo. Probably going to try to brainstorm in response to it. Response to me bouncing it. Okay. Bounce Tameo. Counter brainstorm. I could have also gone to my turn, cast Teferi. Once Teferi resolves, bounce Tameo, but then he could play. All right. Willing to go all in on this Planeswalker. Probably a decent bet. But flipping it in the end step means it's a turn before I can buy anything back. I'm drawing a land here. Okay, 1, 2, 3 Teferi. Ooh, force pitching force. Okay. Opponent has said Tameo's going to do it. And right now, that looks to be true. Lion Sash, gross. Okay, well, this Mystic Sanctuary in my hand just got worse. I don't have any prismatic endings or things that could remove Tameo. I just have to beat it in combat, which I'm not great at doing. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary, bring back this Ponder. Or do I want Counterspell? I think I need Ponder. And I'm going to stick Opalescence here. Stick might be dramatic. I'm going to cast Opalescence here. Oh, they're Hellbent. Yeah. I'm going to stick Opalescence here. It's at least in play. Now my future enchantments are beaters that can challenge Tameo. Shark Typhoon, probably the best thing I could ponder into. The opponent surveilled away a Flooded Strand in the end step. This is a random draw. You do have access to Tameo that can rebuy ponders and stuff. That is probably the best draw there is. Okay, the engine's online. Tameo's online. Bought back Force of Will, indicating it's probably a blue card in the hand. I ponder, cast this. Plow, Flooded Strand. These are not what I want. Gonna shuffle. Shark Typhoon. Say its name and it will appear. Okay, this beats the Spirit token in combat. It keeps Tameo kind of on the back foot, and it doesn't care about Force of Will. Retrofitter Foundry. Bummer. Though it did tap black mana to do that, which means I don't have to respect Bowmaster this turn. Okay. Charging the Staff. If he taps out to draw a card here, it means eating the Spirit and attacking back are free money. Let's see how much he respects a random Shark Typhoon. 0, not enough. Okay. Okay, I get to kill this Spirit. I get to put 1 damage on Tameo. The rebuy is huge. Block. How about a spell that's good? Fudge. Flooded Strand and attack. Attack Tameo, and I'm just going to F6 from there. I am going to quickly fall behind if I don't find some action. Hall of Heliod's great. Another Shark Typhoon's great. I have access to my Meticulous Archive still. This Retrofitter is going to go off. Force of Will is still in that hand over there. Ugh. I love this deck, by the way. Marcus, when he started having some success with this deck, reached out to me. He's like, I know you appreciate this sort of thing. I was like, you're damn right I do. Okay, now this Tameo blocks my Shark, and the other Tameo is safe and sound at home. Meticulous Archive. Come on, Shark Typhoon. It's a Fairy Time Raveler. Well, that will at least get the Force of Will out of the hand, because we are in use it or lose it situation. Yep, Force Pitching Brainstorm. Bounce this Tameo. I will attack Tameo. Opponent can double block and completely stabilize here. Is that worth it? Alright. I am going to do it. I'm not even sure if this is right. If he flips this into a Thopter double blocks, then I don't really have anything going on. But neither does my opponent. And this keeps a 4-4 off the board for a while. I'm not racing a 4-4 either. Okay, double block confirmed. I'm going to deal 1 to the Thopter. And I am F6'd from here. Looking to draw more Shark Typhoons. And we did flush out the Force of Will. Replenish goes pretty hard here. Puts a 6/6 Shark Typhoon into play. Just bought back Force of Will again with Tameo. And we know there's a blue card in hand because there's Tameo. It could sign to memory. The Retrofitter's already in play. Nothing about Tameo is a triggered ability. Urza's Saga might matter, but it won't matter this turn. Tameo's back up to 3. Yeah, this game was the Tameo story. Opponent chose to fight really hard over this Planeswalker, and it turned out to be the right call. What is going on here? The game just indicated that... Oh, Opalescence. Yeah, okay. I don't need to worry about... I saw Urza's Saga's ability go on the stack, and I was like, is this a display bug that puts it in the graveyard? But no, Opalescence just counters Urza's Saga straight up. Busted. Come on, Shark Typhoon. Oh. We know about the Force. I have to wait on this. I have to wait till I can protect it, because we know about Force Blue card 100%. They're both face up. The good news is, my opponent's not killing me that quickly, though the bad news is, it doesn't matter, because I can't really get through this reasonably. I guess if I draw a Teferi. If I draw a Teferi, that flushes out the Force of Will, and then stick Replenish, but the Replenish is just a Shark Typhoon. It's not even that good. It's a 6/6 that dies to Swords to Plowshares. P-Tide. I don't think my opponent really cares about this, but we can talk about that Force of Will in your hand if you like. A Force pitching Tameo. Had 5 mana, chose to pitch Force, which I don't think my opponent forgot. I think that he wants to use his mana on other stuff, like the Retrofitter Foundry and the Staff of the Storyteller. But that was the Force and the blue card we knew about. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me. Like, I mentioned it in game 1 that Opalescence kills Urza Saga, but it didn't occur to me in this game, just playing it out on turn 5 or whatever that was, that I don't have to think about Urza Saga the rest of the game. They bought back Force Will again with Tameo. I'm at 7 life. I'm running out of outs here. You hate to do it to him, but I have a trophy bounty, so if my opponent, takes a long time to kill me, I will accept the Moto Clock as a win condition, even against a friend. We have a whole extra game to play here, but clock's ticking down. And if I draw a wave... Oh, something big is happening. Oh no! Oh no, no! I have 6'd. Oh god, that was so bad. Cauldron complete. I should have countered this. I was busy F6ing. Whoops. Opponent can just equip that next turn. That sucks. Now if I draw Parallax Wave, I'm actually in great shape, because if he forces the wave, then I shove Replenish on the follow-up, and then I can stabilize this game. Oh, he clicked through combat. We're both just spazzing off right now. Okay. Parallax Wave off the top for the game. Shark Typhoon. That's not the one I was looking for, but it's not bad. God, it's so bad that this Cauldron's in play. Equipping it is great. As soon as he started tapping 7 mana, I tried to turn off my auto yields. I was like, no, 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 this might be something, and it was. Okay. I can make a big enough sharp to absorb this damage. Okay. I'm actually going to stop at 5/5. I'll take the 1 trample for the chance at Swords to Plowshares. I'm something of a token deck myself. Parallax Wave off the top. Wave, 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 wave. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, block. Opponent did tap out. I mean, there's a Force of Will in exile. We know there's 1 in the hand. Are there 2 in the hand? He's certainly drawn enough cards that it's possible. If there's a Force of Negation at play here, in Tameo plussed, so he doesn't feel threatened. Okay. Moment of truth. I have a chance. Sloppy play by everyone. Spell Pierce is tapped out of here. The wave is the lock. Wave. Force of Negation would be devastating. Force of Will. We knew all about that one. And I will play around Daze as I can. Replenish. Come on, Magic Online, old girl. Hold together. Ah, okay. Disappointing. Saving the Force of Negation. I mean, at this point, he's drawn 39 cards. I would technically be in slightly better position if I had countered the Cauldron Complete, but, nothing happened. All right, I'm not really into Consigned to Memory. I think Force of Will is actually right, because we are jamming on big spells here, and I do kind of have to combo to win. This Harbinger of the Seas is deeply mid. We saw basics of every color over there. He might even have brought in his own Harbinger of the Seas. I have no idea. But I still think another answer to Urza Saga doesn't hurt. Consigned to Memory is kind of an answer to Urza Saga, but not nearly as good. Okay, the clocks are ticking. The games are phenomenal. We got 1 more in this set. I am going to keep this hand. It's got Seal of Cleansing and Force of Will. Marcus texted me that he restarted his Magic Online to try to reset the lag, and he restarted it into a update patch. So I hope he shows up, but his clock is ticking. Oh good, he made it. That wasn't even that long of a wait. Alright, here we go. I'm going to get the Meticulous Archive. We just played 2 long games with no sign of a wasteland. Island Ponder, you got it. It's not a Tameo, I'm not freaking out. I am going to fetch the Archive, even though just drawing lands is fine here. Okay, cool. Put that on top. That's what I wanted. And I'm going to invest the Seal of Cleansing because this is good against many cards in his deck. Let's just get it down. Not doing anything else with that mana. Stoneforge Mystic. I just narrated right through Force of Willing that, which is what I need to do to win this game. Son of a bitch. Okay, Swords to Plowshares off the top. That was so bad. Okay. Magic's easy. We've seen Force of Negation in his deck, but I can't play around it because if we get to his turn, he can just put in Cauldron. All right. Saved by the Moto Premium. Staff of the Storyteller resolves. I'm going to destroy it before it even gets a counter. That way it doesn't draw a card. It's not a cantrip. Soul Guide Lantern. I don't really want this in play, but what am I going to do? Spend 2 cards on it when I don't have Haul or Replenish? It's fine. Caracas. I could just resolve Opalescence here. No, I like the Shark Typhoon better. Let's take any amount of pressure off the board. And, like, I can kill Saga after it comes in, too. It doesn't have to be a proactive play. I am going to ambush here. If he's got an Orcish Bowmaster, I'll force it. I am just getting scrappy. Like, Spell Pierce is devastating. Yep. Fucked. Okay. Bowmaster comes in. Oh, he could have let the Shark resolve and just killed it. So, he's still trying to play fast here and making some mistakes. The Shark always comes in before you draw a card. That's not something you're allowed to stack or make decisions about. Okay. Now I am not going to block the Spirit, because I'd rather have a 2-2. And we did flush out Spell Pierce, whether intentionally or not. Can I kill this Urza Saga? Alright. Back to something resembling stability. 2-2 versus a board full of 1/1s. Or Orc Army's a 2-2. I can ponder once per turn without my Shark dying. Okay. I'll block. There's might be another Bowmaster, but I'm not gonna not take this. Okay, there is a Supreme Verdict in my deck. That would be bananas here. Or Parallax Wave. Always Parallax Wave. Planes. Okay, so I can ponder into Parallax Wave. I could Verdict just to be safe. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around with this. I have the wave next turn. I can keep the party going, but I don't want to just lose to a situation where my opponent drew another Spell Pierce or has come up with Force Blue cards since the last time I tested their interaction. Yeah, sometimes you just say the name of a card or 2 cards, and then a Ponder shows you both of them. Okay. Emergency card draw off the Soul Guide Lantern. Cauldron is 4 mana away, 3 mana away. Do I go for the wave here? Could just hard cast Force of Negation. I'll ponder first, give myself a chance to fight over it. Oh, Standstill. Standstill with Hall of Heliod under it is pretty sick. Don't shuffle. Play Standstill. Like, even if he flashes in Bowmaster underneath, yeah, like Snapcaster, I will stabilize against this eventually. Right, targeted Spell Pierce. Is he going to actually Spell Pierce this? Okay, I got to do some math. Or wait, this is a 2-2. I don't have to do math. I'm just going to pay for it, obviously. Yeah, this isn't even damage. I could just trade it. Yeah, but I go to 9. I draw Hall of Heliod. All right, yeah, he's just busting it. Pushing that damage. I respect it. I have Parallax Wave in my hand. He's now tapped out of Hardcast Force. It will at least cost 2 cards, and I can play around Spell Pierce. Force of Will would be great. Okay, Hall of Heliod. I will reveal my secrets. Parallax Wave. Are we in? Did we do it? Has the Force. Okay. I'm going to plow this Snapcaster just to take some damage off. And I'm going to rebuy and then replay Parallax Wave next turn. I have enough mana to do it all. Snapcaster. Can't snap back. Soul Guide Lantern. Snap Ponder. I am down to 9 life, and it's going to be 8. I'm going to have to fetch down to 7. Like, this is tight. Upkeep, Hall of Heliod, target Parallax Wave. I could target Shark Typhoon to try to stabilize, but I'm going for the Gusto. Fetch. Island. Wave. Another Force. This isn't going to last forever. I'll just do this every turn. I go to 4. I do it again. Staff of the Storyteller. Okay, so now Lethal's actually on board, where I have to make some tougher decisions. We know Cauldron. Okay, so he can't have Force of Will here. It can't be Force Blue card because Cauldron's in the hand. What could he draw? It has to be Spell Pierce. Okay, I don't give a shit about that. So I'm stable. The hand is Cauldron. Upkeep, Hall of Heliod, Parallax Wave, draw, and we're doing it. Unless there was a brainstorm and I lost track of things somewhere, but I don't think I did. Okay, exile Snapcaster, exile Tameo, exile Spirit, and I could get the spirits anytime. And then in response, exile Parallax Wave. And we did it. Achieve stability. Creatures can't kill me anymore. He's going to have to deal 4 damage to me without a creature. Or deal with Parallax Wave or Opalescence somehow. And quasi-relatedly has less than 2 minutes to do it all. I mean, the engine's online. Cycling Lorien. Okay, did brainstorm away that Cauldra. We're back to perfect information. I have to be careful not to F6, because if he reads that I did that, then could sneak a plow in. Right, exile the servo, go to my turn. I'm going to buy back Standstill. Buying back Standstill might be goofy since it's a creature. Maybe I'm just supposed to get Shark Typhoon there. Hooks are in, reset my wave, pass the turn, drawing a card, making a donkey, drawing another card probably, end step, delete the servo. I think I want to buy back Shark Typhoon here. Let's keep the pressure up. Okay, Bowmaster draws me 3 cards. I will let it resolve and then get rid of it. That does deal 1 of the 3 damage he needed to do to me to get the game over. Draw for turn, exile the Orc Army, attack. Might as well chump block, but I'll give him the opportunity to take 4. Okay, decided to take 4. I like it. And now I will exile my Parallax Wave and exile Bowmaster, exile Wave in response. And I think I'm going to play Harbinger of the Seas here. I force a will on that. I think he's just fighting over anything that could deal damage to him. He's down to 1 Bowmaster if he plays all 4, which I'm not even sure of. And that's the only source of direct damage we've seen. Thoughtseize. Sure, have a peek. We got the GGs. Those were GGs. And the trophy dream lives. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I am on the draw in round number 4. I'm going to keep my hand. My opponent's already mulled to 6. I have Forest Blue card and then Counterspell on turn 2. Parallax Wave is a long way off, but Brainstorm fixes everything. This league has been so sweet so far. I hope we continue to play against upstanding citizens who want to play interesting Magic. That's not an Ancient Tomb or a Fell the Profane land. Good start. Opponent said they can't wait to see what nonsense I'm on today. I will not disappoint you. I'm a potato. Shout out to I'm a potato. Everyone say hi. Sometimes people say that and I'm just on like Red Stompy and I feel bad. But today I'm actually delivering. Delivering for real. Okay, this looks like Azorius Dreadnought. Meticulous Archive getting dressed down. Oh. Well, look at me with the right answer. That was lucky. the fun of in the main deck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Speaking of fun ofs. Well, unfortunately my deck takes thousands of years to win, so it might be hard to actually capitalize on this, but I'm hitting land drops and my opponent is not. I don't need to win fast. I just need to win. Ooh, Teferi's really good. No, I'm not going to brainstorm. I have Counterspell in my hand. If they draw a Wasteland and hit my Hall of Heliod, then they still have no lands in play. It's fine. Urza's Saga. Okay, this would be a great time to find a Plains. Draw for turn. Replenish. Brainstorm, find me a Plains. Easy game. Put back Replenish and Parallax Wave. Basic Plains to Fairy Time Raveler. I will go to the mat over this. Force of Will, whatever I need to do. Okay, force pitching Dress Down. I'm going to force pitching Counterspell because I'm willing to go all the way in on this, and I would prefer to have Shark Typhoon left over at the end. Okay, I just talked a lot of shit. That might not have been true, because Shark Typhoon plus Hall of Heliod is the type of thing that wins this game. Does Teferi even matter? Okay. Alright, I talked a lot of trash. I didn't mean any of it. As long as I don't draw Ancient Tomb, I'll be fine. Right, like, Urza Saga just working its way through the universe. What's even going to come out of this thing? I should probably cycle my Shark. Yeah, I'm actually just going to cycle my Shark right now in case they get Pithing Needle and name Shark Typhoon just on the Super Slick. If they're hyper dialed in, they see the Hall of Heliod. I do want at least to have a threat in play. And Typhoon in my graveyard. Okay, they found the land. Curie. Alright. Parallax Wave can handle that shit. So can Shark Typhoon. Oh, another Shark Typhoon. Okay. Parallax Wave. I'll start here. You got a third force over there? We know the hand is all spells. It could be another force. We got the no way in the chat. Yes way. I'm doing it. Okay. I have Replenish in my hand. So that's fine. This is the fucked upness of Replenish. And I'm still holding Force Blue card if my opponent... No, there's no sequence where I need to be worried here, because Dreadnought plus Eat It is a 3-mana play. Dreadnought Stifle is a 3-card play. It's 2 mana, but they only have 1 card. Opponent asked if this is the mono-blue Dreadnought list that ran Tombs and Parallax Tide. It is in the same vein, but a little heftier. Okay. Now I'm willing to force blue card to make Replenish happen. I can play around Spell Pierce even. Boom! Do you have the 4th Force of Will? I'm ready, even if you did. They said, oh god, and scooped. Yep, good call. Seal of Cleansing, once again, finding a matchup where it's really good. Kills Curie, kills Dreadnought, kills Dress Down. Harbinger of the Seas is a maybe. Consigned to Memory does counter Dreadnought, does counter Urza Saga triggers. Does counter Retrofitter Foundry, a card that they're playing. I might want more of these, but not like a ton. I think Standstill should come out versus the Saga deck. I missed that versus Marcus, and then just never fixed it. I'm going to fix it now. Containment Priest could stop Dreadnought from arriving out of an Urza Saga, but if they dress down to enable that, then the Priest is off too. Yeah, I don't like that. I think I'm going to shave an Intuition, just a little clunky. Intuition 2 Standstills, and I'll just try to go 1-for-1 with this opponent. Oh, this is sloppy. I like Seal of Cleansing. I don't like the no blue card with the Force. I'll keep it. Whatever. I came to party. If they lead on Tamiyo, I'll be really bummed out. Shit. I'll just draw Swords to Plowshares. It's fine. Okay. That's not a Swords to Plowshares. It is a blue card. And it is a card that makes my shitty hand better. But we have seen how bad a flip Tamiyo is for my deck. Just no real plan for that shit. And if I go off, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm not going to fetch there. I mean, Stifle's just going to get me anyway. Fetch. Don't stifle me. Alright, we didn't get stifled. I'll get Basic Plains, because I can't get Basic Island with the other one. Seal of Cleansing. This is worth interaction if they have it. In Hardcast Daze is really effective here. Force of Will would at least get me a 2-for-1. Sick. Alright. I'm gonna either wait for them to crack their clue, or wait till we go to their upkeep before I Seal of Cleansing, because Stifle could blow me out here. Okay. Upkeep, Seal. Now if they want to eat their clue, it's going to cost mana on their turn. If they want to Stifle, like either way, they are not getting a construct out of this saga. Cool. They have drawn 2 cards now this turn. Plains is unlikely to draw a card. I don't like Retrofitter, but I'm not going to spend my precious Brainstorm to remove it. Basic Island. Okay, Brainstorm time. This is a mess. Put back Meticulous Archive and Tundra. And I'm going to fetch Tundra right now and cycle Cast Down. I could cast Out next turn, but I can also cast Replenish next turn. Oh, the whole combo's here now. If Tamiyo becomes a Planeswalker, I'm in a lot of trouble. if Tamiyo stays a creature, I can jam Parallax Wave into Replenish over the next 2 turns. Okay. Counterspell. That'll be good someday. I'm going to play the Wave now, though. Like, if this gets Force of Will, that's great. That's just more gas for Replenish. We're in. Okay. I'm going to slurp up this Tamiyo. Take that pressure off. All right, slurp up Servo, slurp up Tamiyo. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Hard control is the worst matchup for Dreadnought. And I am about as hard as control could get, if you know what I mean. Okay, they failed the Force test last turn. I'm going to play Opalescence and go for the lock. And still Replenish in the bank. Spell Pierce. Dastardly. Okay, that's countered. Bummer, what will I do now? I cannot afford to slurp up this Servo, unfortunately. I need a counter left on my Wave when Opalescence comes in. I could also just let the Wave die and then replenish it back with everything else. I'd rather not do that, though. I'm going to get Meticulous Archive here. Archive, please dump an enchantment. All right, I'll keep a Brainstorm. Okay, I'm ready to Force of Will to make Replenish happen. This is basically everything. Or I could spend a turn sculpting, and if I find a land, Counterspell's live. Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to spend a turn sculpting. Yikes, we missed. Or I just drew another Opalescence and another Force. If I put back Brainstorm and Replenish, I can cast Opalescence right now. It's live against Daze and Spell Pierce, but this is just like another Duress I'm casting. This looks like a hard cast Force to me. Okay. That's fine. I'm drawing the Replenish. Or do I want to try to fight now? I think I want to fight now. This is just the lock if it works. I'm going to pitch Counterspell because I know I'm not going to be able to cast it. Let's go. All right. Attack first. Don't forget my 4 damage this time. In for 4. Exile yourself, Parallax Wave. And it comes back. And then hold priority, even though it's a token, doesn't matter. And all your creatures are gone. Can this deck win without a creature? If this deck has Stifle in it, which is reasonably likely, they could Stifle or consign the Return Parallax Wave to the battlefield trigger and break this up that way. And then I get got by my own exile trick. Right, dig in with clues. Meticulous Archive found. Kept the card on top, scary. Drew it immediately. And continue the beatdown. I'm drawing Replenish here. And I'm just going to sit on this counter magic and pass back. I could fight a Stifle. I'm pretty worried about a Consign, though. Like a Consign with a bunch of Replicates will actually stop my action. Then I just cast Replenish, though, and I get a cast out Seal of Cleansing, Opalescence, and that's a bunch of power and toughness in play. The Opalescences will see each other at that point, and then they'll both be 4/4s. Shuffled the Brainstorm with a Flooded Strand from their hand. A Hallowed Fountain, okay. I wonder if they don't own Tundra's IRL and they're testing their actual list online. Because I feel like Tundra and Hallowed Fountain don't actually cost very different on Magic Online. Rest in peace. That's really disappointing. Is it worth a Force? From the hardcast, I think so. This just turns off the Replenish and also turns off the Mystic Sanctuary, both of which are things that I like. Brainstorm, attack for 4. They did so much cantripping last turn. Okay, this taps them out, which means I can safely reset my Wave this turn through Stifle. All right, eat yourself, come right back. Ponder. Hall of Heliod, Consign, Plow. All right, I'll take Hall of Heliod right now to play around Daze. And do I want to send the big win? I could also just leave up Hall of Heliod. I'm going to go for the big money right now while my opponent's tapped out. It's going to cost you 2 cards. Hell yeah. Take that Retrofitter. Pass the turn. Game on. We got a hell yeah in the chat. I agree. Thank you. Even if they have Supreme Verdict, I'll just eat all my other creatures. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. The Humility Opalescence interaction. Now a Supreme Verdict or a Swords to Plowshares actually does break this up. Because there's Opalescence still works, but the creatures lose all their abilities. I also don't think Dress Down dies at the end of the turn now. So this just like stays in play. Okay, they were trying to cantrip. Yeah, these are just fucking creatures now. Okay, call a judge. A bunch of creatures with no abilities in play, and they fetch shock their own Held Fountain to die. GG's, that was awesome. Thanks for the screenshot. On to the final trophy round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round versus Testacular, who is a Cradle Control expert, but I have not really seen him or interacted with him in a little while. I don't know what he's up to right now. But he is between me and my trophy bounty. I kept this hand primarily hoping that he's still at Cradle Control. I could fetch Meticulous Archive. Even like a turn 4 Parallax Wave on the play might just slurp this up. Oh, come on, man. Boo! Boo! I'm calling the cops. All right. Well, we wanted to play against good, upstanding Americans, and instead we ran into Testacular, who has sold his soul to play Oops All Spells instead of an Honest Creature deck. All right, let me see the pile. Don't have my One of Consign in the hand. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Pact of Negations in the graveyard, so if I just had Force Blue card, opponent would have nothing. Great. All right. Well, fuck. But we know what the job is. Leyline of the Void, Containment Priest, Deafening Silence, Consigned to Memory, they all come in. I went with Leyline of the Void because I'm not messing around. Oops All Spells has to be respected in the current metagame, and something like Fairy Macabre or Surgical Extraction doesn't quite cut it anymore. The decks are constructed way too well. And unfortunately, this means all of this shit comes out, but we've done enough with this shit. We've proven what we're supposed to be. We're proving what we meant to prove with all this, and now it's time to just beat a filthy Oops All Spells player and defend this trophy. Seal of Cleansing can hit like Chrome Mox kind of things. It's not very good. Harbinger of the Seas is also not good, but it is blue to pitch to force. I'm cutting 10 white cards and adding 4 blue cards in their spots. So I'm netting 3 blue cards in the deck. Yeah, Parallax Tide versus the deck with no lands. That's funny. Okay. I think these are my cuts. And then, or maybe Tide is better than Plow. But Plow could line up against weird games where they start just like casting Poxwalkers and beating down. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Submit my deck. Keep an Insane 7 with Leyline in it. Check. Okay. Keep. Opponent could pivot onto Belcher. There's multiple different builds of Oops All Spells right now. Land of the Void is in. Deafening Silence is about to follow it. Shark Typhoon is slow pressure, but it is pressure. Fuck you, buddy. Let's go. Game 3. Sometimes they have Force of Vigor, which would get them completely out of this. We'll just see what he's got. I'm mostly just talking trash. And I forgive you, Testacular, if you're watching this, for selling out your soul. Okay, Academe, the Undercrypt tapped. You got to play the beatdown game. And one of the 2 Swords of Plowshares I left in is in my hand. I'm ready to kill a Poxwalker. Or ready for Balustrade Spy beats. Unmask targeting me. Okay. Well, I'm probably going to lose Shark Typhoon here. Ooh, cut the Plow. All right. So there is a creature plan coming. Oh, but I drew Force of Will. Yeah, sometimes they have Barrogoyf. That could even be a thing. It's not unheard of. Okay, now I have Force, and Shark Typhoon. I'm going to make a 1/1 Shark and get to work here. I am realizing how anemic my deck's attacking is right now without Opalescence in the deck. I think I should have at least one of those still in so I could turn the quarter. God, please don't Cabal Therapy me. That would be my nightmare. All right, they're setting it up there. On a 19-turn clock's plenty of time to figure this out. And Force of Will is just the easiest name off of a blind therapy anyway. And I just happen to be fully exposed to it. Spirit Guide. Feed the Swarm. Well, I'm going to Force of Will that. That reduces my exposure to future discard spells because I got some of that stuff out of the way. I'm going to get Meticulous Archive. I don't need to buy back a Force right now. Teferi, put you on top. It's just a source of card advantage. And if they do, like, Ritual out of Barrowgoyf. It's something I could do. All right, I'm just drawing a card here. Consign to memory. Sick. Force blue card locked. And they've just had enough. Okay. Feed the Swarm is something I gotta beat. It's ready to answer my Opalescence. Okay. If I need a win con, is Replenish better than Opalescence? Replenish gets back the Shark Typhoon. Opalescence lets me attack with Leyline of the Void, which is poetic and beautiful versus Oops All spells. I have Containment Priest, Harbinger of the Seas, Shark Typhoons that have power and toughness. That's insanely anemic. I'd love to get one Replenish and one Opalescence in, but my cuts, I don't really want to cut a land, even though my opponent's not going to mess with my lands. Like, Wasteland is good if they're in a garbage game. Teferi is blue and turns off their Pact of Negations. Yeah, I think I just have to accept that my beats are anemic. This is a matchup where if it gets garbage enough, I could cast Shark Typhoon. Oh, Intuition doesn't need to be in the deck if I'm not comboing. It's still blue, but I have so many blue cards right now, I think I can support it. I still have 27 blue cards if I cut my Intuitions, but Intuition for triple force is something I could do. Maybe one Intuition and the Replenish. This way I could Intuition for like triple force, or I could Intuition for Replenish 2 fetch lands, and the fetch land gets Mystic Sanctuary, and then we're going. Okay. I am in. If I lose this game because I have Replenish in my hand next to a Force of Will, and it doesn't pitch, I accept that. Show me Leyline of the Void. Yeah! Okay, I wish this blue source came in untapped, but I'm going to have to make it work. Keep Leyline. Don't belch me. Boggart Bog. Thoughtseize. Okay. I don't know what I lose here. It depends on what my opponent thinks is important about this game. I could see arguments for any of these cards. I mean, probably Teferi would be taken over Plow. Okay, going after the Brainstorm. Untap mana? Oh my god. Pass the turn. Please don't kill me right now. I'm so ready. Okay, passing the turn. My opponent Thoughtseized me on their turn 1 on the play. That's what I'm talking about when I say there's no room to fuck around. Leyline of the Void is the answer. If that was Fairy Macabre Surgical, this consigned to memory, a Force of Will, it would be gone. But instead, this is happening. Okay, can I get a land to get Shark Typhoon going? Not yet. Okay, I don't know who Drago favors here. And it's probably me, but like, I can do stuff without casting spells. They can't. They could just start discarding, like, Poxwalkers to hand size. Oh, no, they can't, because I have fucking Leyline. All right, Undercity Informer is gone. You got this, GG's in the chat. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Claire, we did it. Holy smokes. Wow. A trophy challenge with this deck, brewed from a Premodern deck, actually completed all 3 bounties. I'm honestly tingling right now. I'm just so happy that this worked out, and the games were awesome. We beat 2 combo decks. And a couple weeks ago on the Eternal Glory podcast, we did an episode about brewing in Legacy and respecting the rules of engagement. And if you are going to do something off the beaten path, like Replenish Opalescence Parallax Wave combo, you have to understand the rules of engagement to the format and what your deck needs to be able to do outside of your goofy off-meta combo. And that's where 3 copies of Teferi to blank their interaction, 2 copies of Standstill, just something to rebuild. It's not a whole plan. There's only 2 of these, just a card advantage source. The main deck consigned to memory hit multiple things this league. Understanding that Shark Typhoon plus Hall of Heliod is something we could do. And that's really powerful against a whole swath of decks by itself. The Leyline of the Void, rather than any other garbage I could have played in the sideboard that would have been stripped by that Thoughtseize, and we would have missed our trophy by 1 game. Leyline of the Void. I'm really proud of this brew. Claire, thank you so much for putting this on the map. I hope this video does well because this was awesome. If you had fun watching this, share it with your friends. By the way, I am not going to say that I trophied in the promo. Like, people frequently complain when I say, 5-0 trophy with blank. because this was a trophy challenge, I'm going to leave it up to the sweat and let everyone figure it out as we watch. I hope that makes for better viewing. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for sticking out this awesome league. Claire, thanks again. This was awesome. Everybody, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.